You have 500 milliliters of 1 molar HCl, and you want to know how much water you need to add to it to make it a 0.1 molar HCl. So this is a dilution problem. We're going from something fairly highly concentrated to something low concentrated, but it's the same thing. So it's just like making orange juice from concentrate. You dump your can in, then how much water do you need to add to make it, the right kind of juice? And the formula we'll use is V1C1 equals V2C2, which means the volume times the concentration before equals the volume times the concentration afterwards. So your volume, the second volume should be a lot bigger than your first volume because you've diluted it, but your concentration of your second, your new diluted thing should be a lot less than what it started with. So V should be going up, V2 should be bigger than V1, but C1 should be bigger than C2 as you're going forward here. So we know that V1, we're starting with a 500 milliliter sample of hydrochloric acid, and we also know its concentration. It's 1 molar, which is fairly strong. And it says how much water do you need to add to it to make it 0.1 molar HCl. So we're looking for a volume here. And we know the concentration, the second concentration, is only 1/10 of the original concentration, 0.1. So you know what we can solve here for V2. I want to be clear here, though. The question is how much water do you need to add to it? It doesn't say what is the new final volume. It just says how much water. So the question's like when you make your orange juice, you put in 1 can of the concentrate and then 3 cans of water, which makes a total of 4 cans worth of juice in your jug. But the question isn't how much juice are you going to make, it's how much water do you need to add. And so V2 will not tell us that. It'll just tell us the new final volume. So what we'll have to do then is figure it out and then subtract off the original 500 that we started with, so then we'll know how much water we need to add to get it up to this final volume. So if we put in our numbers here, V1 was 500 times 1, that's an easy calculation. V2 we don't know, and C2 is 0.1. So this together gives 500, that was pretty easy, and we still have V2 times 0.1. We're looking for V2 by itself, and so it's being multiplied by 0.1, and so the opposite of multiplying is dividing. We divide it out and get rid of it on that side, so we're left with only V2. But what you do to one side, you must do to the other, and we find that V2 then will be equal to, when 500 divided by 0.1 is 5,000 milliliters. Now again, this isn't the volume of the water, which is what the question's asking. This is the new volume of the new 0.1 molar HCl. So when we put in all this water, we now have a new concentration, 0.1 molar, very dilute, or sort of dilute HCl. But we want to know how much water we needed to add. Well, we take our final volume here, which is 5,000, and we subtract off what we started with, the 500 of the 1 molar HCl, and we'd find that we would need to add 4,500 milliliters of water to dilute that 500 up to 5,000, which is what the formula told us. So in this question, the way it's worded, this is the answer. However, the question could have just said, what is the new volume of HCl when you dilute 500 milliliters of a 1 molar solution down to 0.1 molar? Well, then the final answer would be 5,000. That's the new volume of the dilute chemical. But because we're only asking about how much water we need to add, we have to subtract off that original starting amount of HCl.